How to get professional quality spray paint results from a can in a fraction of the time, coming up next. What's up everybody, this is Monty with House to David MC, and today is part 3 of our GY6 build where we're talking about how to get those professional spray paint results from a can. So here's the thing, there's a lot of great videos out there showing spray paint techniques, and they get a lot of great results, but they also take a long time. And today, I want to show you a way we can get the same results in a fraction of the time. So the technique I'm going to share with you today is called wet on wet. And it's actually what the pros use. It's just the process of laying down multiple coats of wet paint, one on top of another. This process is going to allow us to lay down all our coats of paint, our base layer, and then following with our top coat, clear coat layers, all at one time, and be done. So before we get started, I've got 4 tips that are going to help us get that pro result. So tip number 1, spray in a closed environment. I always spray in my garage. Garage door almost completely closed. That prevents the wind from blowing in any contaminants or any fluff or anything to mess up our paint layers. Tip number 2, know the fan of your can. What I mean by that is that this can is going to put out a different fan or a different spread of paint than this one. This one's going to put out a wider fan. This one's going to put out a narrower fan. This one's going to put out less paint. This one's going to put out more paint. Tip number 3, wear a breather. Huffing paint bad, breather good. If you're spray painting in a garage with the door closed, you have to get a breather. I bought this at Home Depot. It's a 3M breather, really inexpensive. Get one of these, it's a must. And finally, tip number 4, if you're actually sanding something that's plastic, make sure once you're done sanding it, put it aside for about a day before you paint it. Because what happens when you sand plastic is it actually begins to release a gas. And if you spray paint over top of the plastic while it's releasing a gas, it'll make your surface, your finish bumpy. Okay guys, just a little demonstration on the fans. I've got these 2 different cans right here. This one I really like actually, Rust-Oleum Universal. It's got a nice trigger. It prevents the paint finger you get from doing this a whole lot with the old style paint cans. But anyways, we can see pretty clearly that how wide that fan is, and then this one, how narrow that fan is. Just a little spray paint 101. We want to start the spray before the object, and then each additional stroke, we want to aim for the top of the previous stroke. So I'm going to aim right about here, so we get a nice overlap between strokes. Also, I like to go back at a different angle like this, so we can avoid any tiger striping. Monty, are you ready? Huh? I said, Monty, are you ready? Yeah, let's do this! Okay, time for coat 2. So I'm waiting about 2-3 minutes between each coat, so I'm barely waiting at all. I'm about to go in for coat 3. Okay, so that was 3 base coats, so now I'm on to the clear coat. Okay, it's time for our second layer of clear. Okay, off to my 3rd and final coat of clear. Okay guys, so we got 3 base coats and 3 clear coats. Now all that's left to do is wait tomorrow and see what we got. Okay, so it's day 2, and you can see that we got a couple sags in our paint job, but overall it's super smooth. If you do get sags, it's really easy to wet sand just the clear coat out, and I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, so I'm going to start with a 1000 grit wet sandpaper, and I like these sanding sponges because they're flexible and they get nicks and crannies and corners. So this is 1000. I'm going to keep it wet all the time, and then when I'm done with this, I'm going to go up to 2000. And since we're wet sanding, what we're finally going to have to do is use a polish and a compound, and I like McGuire's. They make these little kits that come with the sponges. And also you can buy this adapter for your drill bit that turns it into a polisher. Works really well. You want to keep it really wet. Okay, I've finished adding the compound and I'm going to use a cloth to wipe off all the excess. So now I'm moving on to the Meguiar's polish. Okay guys, so here's the final product. Just FYI guys, all the products that I'm using today can be found as a link down in the description. Thanks for watching guys. If you like the videos, make sure you subscribe, share them with your friends, make comments down below. This has been Monty with House of David, taking one motor, one revelation at a time.